My dad has taken over his beloved Spurs on Football Manager, so I have set him up with some challenges to accomplish in 10 seasons. The first is to win the Premier League on 3 separate occasions. The next is to win the FA Cup 3 times as well. But we are making this easy because we want 3 European trophies as well. And finally, the last challenge is for a Spurs player to win the Ballon d'Or. So let's catch up with what he has done in this first summer in charge at the club. Well, after selecting a 4-2-3-1 as his desired formation right now, Dad has identified the front advanced forward role as a position he would need to improve. And so he decided to splash some cash that they had in Season 1 on Pedro, and the Brazilian joins Dad's side from Flamengo for £25 million. And with Pedro leading the line mainly for this side, the position that Dad identified next was the advanced playmaker role. And that's when he signed Thiago Almeida, who can fill in naturally in from the left if Son is injured or plays up front, and he just cost £24 million. In the first game of the season, and Sarr had an action-packed 16 minutes, including scoring 2 goals in 5 minutes and then getting a straight red card for this tackle after 16 against Nottingham Forest. But the following 2 games against United and Liverpool ended in draws, so it's been an unbeaten start. So let's see if Dad can take an early step towards completing one of the challenges in season number 1. Oh, Dad, that's...
I was disappointed with that.
Yeah. That's not a great start.
No, definitely not.
What's also quite worrying is your top scorer is Almeida.
What a signing though.
Yeah, but you signed a striker and he's not up there, which is the worrying part of it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So that's not a good thing in terms of the league table. Finishing down in 7th place, 68 points. You're some way off as well from the actual top 4. Aston Villa getting in there, which was great. In terms of the players, Thiago Almeida did get 18, which was actually the second highest top scorer, him and Bruno Fernandes. Erling Haaland got 40, by the way.
I mean, this is going to be the problem with this league, innit? I'm going to be fighting against Man City and Erling Haaland really nice. So
I mean, you've got to win a Ballon d'Or. How are you going to do that when Erling Haaland is winning the league, maybe even the Champions League, and getting 40 goals in the Premier League?
I'll buy him.
You'll buy him, of course. Will you, though, with £55 million? Probably not.
No.
Let's have a look, though, at other competitions, because, of course, you've got a chance to win a Champions League, well, a European trophy, and an FA Cup.
Yeah.
Did you manage to do any of that? No. Well, in fact, you actually weren't in the Champions League or anything European competition-wise, but the FA Cup semi-final exit from Manchester United, which you would have gone on to face Liverpool in the final and lost. Wow, bloody hell, that was a great final.
Yeah.
Hull City managed to get there. That was
good.
Good for you, Hull City, but no. No trophies in the first season.
One season out of the way.
Probably not going to be up for a Ballon d'Or winner either. Thiago Almeida with 23 goals in 36 starts. It's not actually that bad, is it, at all? Heung-min Son for 15, 12 and 12 for James Maddison. Okay, we got Sarri playing quite a lot. Obviously, he develops into a monster of a player already.
Yeah, he's going to be one of my go-to players, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But £55 million is all you've got, so I imagine if you want to impress or improve this team, it's going to be a lot of changes. And if I know Dad correctly, we might even see a change to the tactic. Who knows? A rough season overall for Dad with this first in charge of Spurs. Let's see what changes he makes this summer. He began by adding a new weapon up front to his arsenal, the Swedish striker Victor Gyökeres, a powerful frontman signed from Sporting for £41 million. Dad was ready to build up his budget as well by selling Son to Saudi Arabia, aged 32 now, for £90 million.
Nice.
But there was plenty more departures as Dad really set out to rebuild this entire squad, allowing him to spend another £300 million on his squad, starting with Dennis Zakaria, a versatile midfielder, for £42 million. To challenge Udogie at left back, in came Amar Dedic from Salzburg for another 45. Next in was Ismail Saibari, another attacking midfield option in the midfield from PSV for £48.5 million. At centre-back though, Gonzalo Inacio was next in the door to give Spurs 3 incredible options in the heart of the defence, joining from Sporting for £51 million. A backup goalkeeper in Lucas Chevalier joined as well from Lille for £25.5. But I was questioning the last signing, as Dad signed Ademola Lookman, who yes, is a cracking player with a lot of pace, but not for £90 million. However, I'm here to be proven wrong, and he started the season very well, scoring on the opening day of the season, as did 2 of the other new signings on their debut in a 4-1 win at Old Trafford. In the match that followed at home to Chelsea, it was another fantastic performance, and another goal from Lookman, which again, another win as well. Actually, Dad had won all of his matches so far this season in the Premier League and the qualifications for the Europa Conference League, which is a competition you'd like to think Dad has to be favourite to win, which could be perfect for one of the challenges I've already set him. And yet the Tinkerman hadn't even changed his tactic from last season, which may come as the biggest surprise yet. So with a huge opportunity at a trophy this season and a great start, can Spurs not Spurs it up in season number 2? It's not an improvement in the league.
I was hoping for something better than that. I wanted to be in at least the top 4, I think, there.
Yeah, 7th position in the Premier League, 72 points, just a couple of points behind like top 5, which would have gotten you Champions League football. So still not very well in domestic competition, domestic league anyway. Still struggling there. Erling Haaland, 33 goals with the highest average rating. Ballon d'Or is definitely going to have his name on it. But you had the Europa Conference League. And we know, of course, that is a huge step towards and kind of a cheap way of winning one of those 3 European
I should have been
trophies.
the favourite for that cup, really.
Has to be.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Let's see how you got on. Dad, you won in the final against Atalanta. That needed to happen.
Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely needed to happen. I mean, you topped the group there, 1 draw and 5 wins. So fantastic. Went to the round of 16, knocked out the Greek team Ike there. Then St. Gallen, 10-3. Semi-final, defeated Lyon to beat Atalanta in the final, 1-0. And Almeida, again, with 11 goals. He's been great, a great goal scorer, despite obviously bringing in Gyökeres. I'm quite surprised to see Thiago Almeida with the amount of goals that he has managed to do. What about the FA Cup, though? Did we have another FA Cup? We did not. 4th round by Arsenal.
Won the wrong cup, didn't I?
He did win the Carabao Cup, though, against Manchester City, and of course we're not counting. Win. It's good for the CV, but it's not counting towards the challenges.
I mean, they won the league again, so to beat them, I think I'm happy with that, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Premier League-wise, we definitely need to get better at this.
When you look at my league position, once again, I started off well, just dipped, and then stayed there for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
2 seasons in a row I've done that.
What you've actually managed to do, though, is you put yourself in a good position to win the Europa League next year.
Definitely, yeah.
Again, it counts towards a European competition. Can you do back-to-back? That's quite interesting. We'll have to see whether you can accomplish that. 25, he's the top scorer again, and he's played less. He's started less games.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, really. Gyökeres only got 20 goals, which does surprise me. Kulusevski there with 14, so that's not too bad. Ademola Lookman, who was the Heung-min Son replacement, £90 million. Only 8 goals and 8 assists across the season.
Yeah, but disappointed with that.
Poor average rating as well. So that's not great for the Nigerian 27 years of age player there. We've got £60-odd million in the bank for next season. So, yeah, we might have to have a bit of a rethink there in terms of what we're looking at. Because it's been 2 seasons without a tactical change, and that's... You feeling okay?
No, I don't know. I'm starting to sweat now. Really.
Yeah,
I was getting a bit worried. I'm building for the future.
Stop trying to prove a point.
I might just... If I'm going to do it with any team, I'm going to do it with Spurs.
When we call you the Tinkerman, we just mean when you do it when you win. Not when you have terrible seasons. Well, you can change it then. Right, let's see. Cracking start, and the first of 3 European trophies for Dad to win, but his league form still needs some work. And so sacrifices had to be made and more players were sold, including Brennan Johnson, who went to Liverpool for 51 million. Dennis Zakaria didn't spend very long in London again, and he was sold to Saudi Arabia for 50 million. Saibari joined him again after just 1 season in London for the same price as he arrived for, which was pretty much what also happened to Lucas Chevalier. But coming in is another defender from Sporting. It's Ousmane Diomande, who is already world class as a centre back and cost just 50 million. But in classic Omega Dad fashion, a player named Merlin Roll arrives who can play in every single position, a squad player if ever there was one, for £62 million. Attribute-wise, Lukas Ucic is a very similar player but just costs a lot less, as he joins Tottenham for 15 million. But in goal, Dad found himself a new #1 goalkeeper in Diogo Costa, one of his favourites, a superstar keeper who is still very young and costs £64 million. The final sign of the summer, though, was a big one, bringing Evan Ferguson to the club, a striker with bags of potential, but is he worth the £88 million that Dad spent on him after only scoring 3 Premier Premier League goals last season. Well, once again, I'm willing to be proven wrong, and that's what this squad is doing at the start of the season as Ferguson bags a brace in his first match, which was a 5-4 away win to Forest at the City ground. A change of tactic, however, has seen a very attacking setup with a 4-3-1-2, and Evan Ferguson is to be played as much as possible in that start and advanced forward role to help his development. But to my surprise, it has been good enough defensively so far, and Dad's picked up a lot of wins. Of course, Europa League this season gives Dad a huge opportunity at winning his second of 3 European trophies and back-to-back. He certainly has the squad, but we need to see an improvement from his previous seasons, especially in the Premier League. Now that is much better.
I'm disappointed because of who beat me.
I know, and also quite being that close
Yeah.
to a Premier League. Knowing you've got to win 3, now you've only got 7 years to do so, being that close.
So close.
Especially with the drop-off from Manchester City going down to 68 points.
You've got to take such advantage of that when they do them.
It's not very often they all have bad years.
No.
So anything under 80 points is kind of like, that's a bad year for the likes of Man City and Liverpool, for example. Chelsea doing quite well, but Arsenal...
Looks like I was chasing Arsenal for half a season, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, you kind of stayed in second place. They looked like they were top for a while. They only lost 5 games in total there. You lost 7 in total, only lost 1 to Arsenal, but yeah, it was quite spread out. There's a couple of games in there you think, wow, I got stuffed 4-0 by Bournemouth and 5-0 by Brentford.
That's the games that cost me the league.
Exactly, yeah, when they finished in 10th and 7th place. So, but it's a vast improvement from what you had.
Yeah.
Obviously, bringing in Evan Ferguson helped. He scored 19 goals for you, had the second highest average rating. Still 11 goals behind Erling Haaland, despite obviously you having a way better season than them. But that's definitely a good start to have. However, it could be a great start because there's other competitions you need to win with other challenges. Not Europa League. Did you manage to win the Europa League? It's another European trophy. Roma in the final this time round.
Good win as well, isn't it?
3-0 in the final. That's a very good final. 9th in the league phase. Lost 1, drew 3. Still went through, though, into the knockout playoff round where you eliminated Ike. They played against them again. Round of 16, knocking out Chelsea. 9-6
on aggregate. It's 2 good games there.
Entertaining games. Quarter-final, beating Galatasaray. You went to hell and came out.
And I'll come back.
Semi-final, knocking out Sevilla 8-2.
That's their cup as well,
yeah. Roma beat Paul 9-2. So, very entertaining Europa League season. Obviously, finishing with a 3-0 win against Roma in the final. 2 European trophies back-to-back as well. What about the other competitions, though? It's not another FA Cup. You are so close from winning a treble or a quadruple. 4 points off of that, too.
Who beat me? Who beat me?
Runner-up, Manchester United. 87th minute winner from Rasmus Højlund.
Had to be, didn't it?
Lovely stuff. Unfortunate, though, in terms of managing to get to the final and then losing out.
Yeah.
Hull City in the semi-final again. They're having a cracking time there.
2 good seasons for them.
Took you to extra time as well. But yeah, you beat Sheffield United. You had quite an easy way in there by the looks of it. But there we go. Carabao Cup winners again. It's just the wrong competition.
Yeah.
It's the wrong competition. Beating Chelsea, rivals as well, in extra time. So, I mean, it's a fantastic season.
That's a good season. Yeah. That's a good building season.
You played every game possible.
Yeah.
Just missing out. Two out of 4 trophies that you could have almost gone for and been in the final of an FA Cup.
Change of tactic as well.
Yeah,
Bang,
and it seems to work.
Will I change it
again? Of course he will. Look at the goals, though.
Yeah, it's better, isn't it?
Evan Ferguson with 34.
He's a goal scorer.
Yeah, Gyökeres with 32. He's like more of a brute and just going to help Ferguson score the goals. Ademola Lookman, that's better.
Yes.
Way better season from him.
Sometimes that happens
as
in the
well.
Premier League. You just got that season to settle in.
Exactly. Everybody had a good season by the looks of it, especially a lot of the new guys coming in. I mean, Merlin Royal, who I was kind of like, you spent a lot of money on him. 13 goals, 11 assists, good average rating as well. Luka Sucic, exactly the same, 10 assists there. So, really good stuff, to be honest. And £23 million is not a lot.
Right. Yeah, but I've spent a hell of a lot in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I've got a good squad, I feel now. I mean, I've got my goalkeeper in. You know, I like when my goalkeepers.
Yeah,
I've got my favourite one in as well. So I'm happy now.
Okay, well, it's a good 3rd season for sure. Well, Dad is rightly got to be buzzing with taking advantage of the European competitions he's been in to win 2 out of 3 European trophies already. but will he regret not managing to pick up that FA Cup? Well, Dad starts season 4 by selling James Maddison to Newcastle for 52 million, as well as raising another 170 million in player sales with the likes of Almada, Pedro Porro, Yves Bissouma and Mickey van der Ven leaving the club. Coming in though was 2 players from RB Leipzig, with the first being Castello Lukeba, a Mickey van der Ven replacement possibly with a left-footed centre-back for £75 million. As well as Mohamed Simakan, who's a very similar player but right-footed on the right side of defence, who can also play right back, again costing big money though for £67 million. There was also a free transfer coming into the club in Gabri Veiga, a good attacking midfield option. But the final signing was a £120 million but world-class, game-changing player in Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. Dad is going for the title this season, clearly, with the signings that he is making. The Tinkerman has changed things up though and gone for a flat 4-3-3-2, but it's still rather attacking. Season started well, including a 5-1 win over Champions League winners Barcelona in the UEFA Super Cup, however, as well as an unbelievable performance against Liverpool in the Premier League, who have a fantastic squad of players, beating them 3-0 in the last game before the window ended. A very strong start to the season with the Champions League football ahead. So it's a big season for Dad after some massive squad overhauls, but will there be any trophies? 4th season, finally the champions.
Good. 7 points. Get in.
I was
Man City trying to come back
surprised
at me.
after your good season last year, the change of tactic. I was like, Tinkerman strikes again, but it paid off in terms of a Premier League trophy. And by some margin too.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 points clear of Manchester City, 94 points in total is fantastic. Lost some wild games though, 6-1 against Aston Villa, who finished down in 7th place.
City didn't beat me though.
No, but the job was done. Very good. Victor Gyökeres, 25 goals.
Yeah.
They've now got Victor Osimhen as well, which is going to take goals away from Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
That's what you need in terms of the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at that now. Evan Ferguson with 18. Victor Gyökeres had the highest average rating. Evan Ferguson also had a good average rating. Let's look then at the Ballon d'Or. We haven't really took much notice of it yet, knowing that you wouldn't be anywhere near it. So, but you did win a Europa League last year, had a good season. Obviously, this is always going to be a year behind. Erling Haaland has just won it recently. Kylian Mbappe the season 4 and Erling Haaland the year before that. No players for you just yet, but now they've also got Victor Osimhen, so that's going to be 2 players that they have right there. What about the FA Cup, though? It was another final. Another final, and you can't get your hands on this bloody FA Cup.
Oh, no.
So close. Liverpool in the final. Knocking out Arsenal 4-0.
That's the best one for you. You think you're in.
Ah, that's unfortunate for you, Dad. Very, very unfortunate. However, back-to-back European trophies, I don't think there'll ever be a club that will ever do what you just done and won all 3 in a row. In ascending order as well. And you completed a challenge already in season number 4, and to be honest, I thought it would be the one that you struggle on the most. It might be because obviously you took a bit of a handicap and dropped into the worst ones out of the competitions, because when I set you the challenge, I thought, okay, I'll make it European trophies, but I'm expecting him to get Champions League first season and not have to worry about you dropping into those competitions.
I'll take that.
Wrong.
I'll take that though.
You still won this one earlier than what I thought you would have.
It's still a long way to go. I might win it a few more times.
Yeah, who knows? Right, league phase. Although you don't need to for the challenge, but it still would be nice. Finished in 10th place. Lost 2 games there against Milan and Atletico Madrid. Drew to PSG on 1-5. Those are the games that you kind of expect to win as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Went into the knockout playoff round. Knocked out Marseille.
It's all right,
Round of 16, Bayern Munich.
That's a big one.
That's a big win.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals there, knocking out Atletico Madrid on penalties. Semi-finals, defeating Manchester City.
That's the big one.
10-4. What an aggregate score that is. With the final being 3-1 after extra time against AC Milan. A very good season then overall.
Got a good squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you were the winner of the Super Cup as well, obviously, beating Barcelona 5-1. So it was a good intention for you to go on and do what you've just done. But a Premier League, a Champions League, and an FA Cup final.
missed that.
So close to the ultimate
and
treble.
I've lost me Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah, I haven't won that one. 4th round by
But
Arsenal.
I'll take the Champions League trophy instead.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Nice one to look on your trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
And, of course, it ticks off that challenge. 41 goals from Gyökeres. That's really good.
Yeah.
Evan Ferguson with 27. Florian Wirtz with 19 and
That's a good
23
signing.
assists. Very good.
Good signing,
What I
yeah.
will say now, though, is I thought maybe after last season, Evan Ferguson would be the one that you would be hoping to go for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
You've just won the Champions League and the Premier League, and Victor Gyökeres is the one with the highest amount of goals.
Yeah.
He could be in contention for winning that Ballon d'Or next season. We'll have to check that. Because this season, of course, was Erling Haaland who managed to win it. Maybe it's going to be Victor Gyökeres next season. Your transfer budget, though, Dad, 16 million. They're not backing you with much money, but you are 60 million in debt. Well, actually, you're 692 million pound
I've just built a
in
stadium.
debt. Yeah, but that's
I'm going to take that because the last 3 seasons I have spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I have got a hell of a squad now.
absolutely.
And when I do sell a player, you're selling them for like 70 million, 80 million now.
Yeah, so that's why
that's
the
the
players
caliber of
come
player
in.
you got now, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, you still got 100% your transfer revenue
Yeah.
made available. So
You sell 2 players, you got over 100 million.
yeah, absolutely. That is an incredible season for Dad's Spurs. A Premier League trophy, the first of 3 that he needs, and a Champions League, meaning all 3 of the first challenge that he has fully completed. And could that Champions League also help a player of his lift the Ballon d'Or? Well, there was no messing around for Dad this summer, chalking up another 117 million pound in player sales, including Ademola Lookman, who goes to Dortmund 3 years after signing for 3 times more of the price that Dad paid for him to buy. But he was happy to do that because Scamacca is coming in on a free transfer, a player who scored 22 goals last season. How about this for a signing though? A 17-year-old English goalkeeper who already looks great from Middlesbrough for 17.5 million. And here's another new gen, a young Spanish midfielder Dad picked up from Barcelona for 32 million, and he's already loaned him out to Fulham in the Championship. However, the main crux of the money was spent on Manu Kone, and the French midfielder has developed into an insane player and was bought from Bayern Munich for 18 million pound. Very little, if any, changes to the tactic from the Tinkerman this season, and none of the new signings actually made it into the starting 11, but of course, probably not that much necessary. And once again, it's a great start to the season. This team is cooking, and the Champions League holders have some tricky games to retain that trophy. But of course, Dad needs to focus more on the Premier League and the FA Cup. Oh, point away and on the final day of the season.
What makes it worse though, I only lost 3 games, so it's the drawn games that I lost it on.
I mean, you
Too
lost
many
the
games.
final game of the season,
Oh, that
which
cost me.
against Aston Villa. So losing that final game was the reason why you didn't win the league there. Manchester City managed to pick you at the post after leading the league for a long time by the looks of it. Scamacca got 21, Erling Haaland up there with 30.
That's a mac, what a signing that is.
Yeah,
for 3B as
free
well,
transfers, not bad at all. So that's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah.
However,
Gutted with that.
what about the FA Cup? We still need at least one of them this season, I think, because else you're going to be really struggling. 5 years left, winning it 3 times. It's a quarter-final exit by Manchester City again.
Done me twice, didn't I? Done me twice. Oh, no.
Hard, very hard. I mean, you knocked out Newcastle the round before. 4th round, you're knocking out Ipswich. But, yeah, I mean, Manchester United went on to beat Birmingham in the final from the Championship. They've done very well to get.
good.
Who did they knock out in the semi-final? Villa. Oh, that's a nice little double derby day, love.
Yeah.
FA Cup semi-finals.
would have loved that one, eh?
Yeah,
At Wembley.
absolutely. So that's great. But, yeah, that's not fantastic for Spurs because that's 2 trophies that you really needed. And Manchester City is kind of...
Took both of them.
Yeah, took both out of your hands there.
Ah,
You were also the runner-up in the Carabao Cup.
Villa again.
The bridesmaid this year, Dad, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Aston Villa beating you on penalties. However, you were in the Champions League and you went and won it again. You didn't need to in terms of the challenge,
Good.
but 4 years in a row, you've won a European trophy. And 2,
Twice the big one.
the big one, yeah. Beating PSG in the final. The league phase, dominated it. Only lost one game against Marseille. You won 7 games in total. Played Man City again.
Yeah, 6-2.
Beating them 6-2. You scored so many goals in the league phase. Into the round of 16, you knocked out Napoli 5-4 there on aggregate. Quarter-final was AC Milan. You seem to come up against them quite a few times. And Barcelona 2-1 in the semi-final.
That's a good win in the semi-final.
It's a good campaign. It's just a really unfortunate season in terms of the challenge that you're trying to accomplish.
Doing me, innit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't get anywhere near it at the moment.
Goals-wise, and then we'll check the Ballon d'Or because we know we have a shot at it with Victor Gyökeres possibly, who did have a good season again this year.
Yeah, another 30 goals.
Good amount of goals from all of you guys, really. Almost all of them on 30. You can't really complain with that. And Florian Wirtz, 21 with 26 assists.
What a player that is, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic stuff, especially when he's going to be playing here.
Yeah.
It's not like he's playing right behind the striker and he should be getting amount of goals. He's playing advanced playmaker. So, exceptional stuff, really. But what about the Ballon d'Or? Do we have a winner this season? No, he finished in third place. Which makes me question, you won the Premier League and the Champions League. How is Erling Haaland winning that?
Yeah.
That's where I question sometimes the Ballon d'Or and how it's voted on. Whether it's done by, who they think is just the best player or what they think is achieved.
Goals.
Yeah, he scored more goals. He was better overall. He scored in less games.
Yeah.
He might have had a bad injury. But, yeah, I still think that's very harsh on Victor Gyökeres, especially because he didn't even finish second. He should finish at least second. But that's not a Ballon d'Or, unfortunately, for a Spurs player just yet. Back-to-back Champions League and 4 in a row for European trophies. But Dad has failed to win another Premier League trophy or a single FA Cup yet, as we hit the halfway point. Yes, it's season number 6 already, and this summer has only seen one big transfer out, and that was the Ivorian defender Diamonde, who's left to go to Real Madrid for 115 million. A free transfer joins the club though in Treble, who has joined as a potential number 1 in goal for this upcoming season, as well as another midfielder with Oihan Sanchez arriving at Spurs from Bilbao for 69 million. And although he hasn't played wingers for a few seasons now, Dad clearly couldn't resist the signing of Mesic, who is a Bosnian new gen for £9 million. But Dad's signature signing of the season is Rodrigo, who joined Spurs from Real Madrid for over £100 million to add to the absolute mammoth depth of deadly strikers at the club. And the Tinkerman has tinkered with a new shape and 2 pressing forwards, leading that line as Rodrigo goes straight into the lineup. The high press does seem to be causing teams a lot of trouble though when they come up against Dad's Spurs team, as it's another unbeaten start in the Premier League so far with a draw to City, and the only loss to Liverpool was in the UEFA Super Cup. But can Dad make it 3 Champions Leagues in a row? It's going to take some doing to complete that, but I would rather see a nice little FA Cup win for the challenge. Well, it's not
City
great
again.
in terms of the Premier League.
No. Consistently there again, chasing them, but just they don't slip up. I can't catch them, can I?
Yeah, the horse... The 4-horse race, should I say, the 3 behind Manchester City is very entertaining, all finishing on 83 points.
Goal average bit has got me there.
You finished second because of the goal difference by the looks of it, but Man City run away a little bit. 111 goals in total. You should do really with your strike force, but Victor Gyökeres with 22, Evan Ferguson with 21, Erling Haaland still getting 28. He's not having bad seasons anymore. That's it. He's back in the overdrive now, trying to win things. So, unfortunately for Tottenham, just the 1 Premier League trophy so far as we end season number 6. And it's no Champions League either. A round of 16 exit to Liverpool.
European Cup tonight.
Lost that run of 4 in a row.
It's even worse. It's Liverpool as well. Isn't it?
Yeah,
you don't mind losing a foreign team.
You finished in 9th place there, so that's not too bad. PSG and Bayer Leverkusen went into the knockout playoff round there, where you eliminated Napoli, which very similar score to the last time I think you played Napoli was 5-4 as well. And then in the round of 16, of course, by Liverpool, you were beating them 2-0, lost 4-0 in the second leg. PSG actually went on to lift the trophy. They defeated Juve in the final at the Puskas Arena in Budapest. So it's no Champions League and no European trophy for Spurs for the first time in 5 seasons. But Dad, we finally have an FA Cup.
Yes.
So all is not lost in season number 6. It wasn't wasted. We finally got
Needed it. That's
an
the
FA
big one I
Cup.
really needed.
Yeah. I mean, the Tinkerman struck again. You did change the tactic.
Yep, just a little bit.
From what it was. Stayed with the 3 up top, but changed a lot of player roles. Changed the shape in terms of the middle. That's justified it a little bit.
That was mainly to do with the players I bought in.
Yeah. It's helped justify it a little bit. You needed a cup win. It's got you a cup win. But I wonder whether if you didn't change it, what you could have done in terms of the Premier League. Because that was firing on all cylinders for you, that Premier League win tactic. So, yeah. 2-0 win against Leeds United. You've got yourself an FA Cup. Don't think we're going to have a Ballon d'Or. Let's have a look. No, it's the 3rd in a row for Erling Haaland.
Can't stop him from getting it, is it?
Absolutely not. 46 goals in 39 games. So far, it's the Erling Haaland show in terms of the Ballon d'Or. And there's only been one Spurs player who's finished in 3rd place. And so he's on the board with the FA Cup finally, despite being in a very poor season. However, there's still no sign of a Ballon d'Or winner yet. At age 31, Dad decided to cash in on Gyökeres over the summer, selling him to Saudi Arabia for 63 million. Scamacca followed him as well, going for nearly 50 million pound. Gabri Veiga left the club to go to Brighton, and it was for another 50 million pound, giving Dad 150 million pound to add to his already large transfer budget. Dad's cheapest signing though was Toren, a Dutch midfielder, only 22 years old, that he picked up from PSV for 30 million. But this is where the big bucks have been spent, as Matt Carroll, an American defender, was brought in aged 21 for a whopping 95 million pound from PSV, which was also the same price as he paid for the Argentine striker or centre mid Martin Cano, as the 21-year-old signs for Tottenham from fellow Premier League side Newcastle. The Tinkerman is back, and once again a shape is being played this season, which once again has started very well. A return of the 4-2-3-1, and it's still very attacking, and the development of some of the players like Sucic has paid off, as well as John Nwankwo, who's the best right back at the club and came through the youth academy, and what a name. Evan Ferguson to lead the line too in what could be a massive season for Dad if success comes his way for this young Spurs side. There we go, second Premier League win.
Over the Arsenal as well, even better.
9 points ahead of them too.
Yes.
Back in the 90s. That's what you needed to do. Now, of course,
only lost 4.
It meant a complete drastic change of tactic, but you managed to do it. 4 losses and 4 draws. A loss to the Arsenal, lost to Man United, lost to Man City, but that's fine because when you're winning everything else, yeah, it's happy days. 94 points in total. In terms of goals, though, 44.
Just can't catch him, can I?
No. He is very difficult to stop. I mean, you sold quite a lot of your strikers, obviously, for the change of tactic. Evan Ferguson, now being the focal point,
I'm relying on him now,
might actually help you in terms of a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
The trouble is, when you're playing 3 up front, the Ballon d'Or tends to go to a guy who's scoring a lot of goals, and when that's spread out across loads of players, it goes to who is scoring a lot of goals, Erling Haaland. So this might help you now, Dad.
Yep,
with
definitely.
Evan Ferguson getting 31.
We know he does
start
get
having
really good.
Yeah, a good season, winning a lot of stuff. It might just help you. But what did you do in the other competitions? We still got to win FA Cups. That's 2 out of 3 Premier Leagues, though. Well, in the Champions League, it was a knockout playoff round exit to AC Milan on pens.
They done me this. They got their own back on me.
Yeah, you've beat them a couple of times recently, haven't you? Yeah. So, league phase down in 18th place.
Well,
no, not at all. Lost 4-1-4. So, well, the ones you did win, you dominated, really. And that was when you knocked out in the knockout playoff round. The final is actually still to be played with Newcastle and Barcelona in that final. But yeah, not very good in Europe. You did win the Carabao Cup, though. So that's a domestic double, beating Wolves in the final. It doesn't count towards, of course, the challenges, but it's still a nice one to have.
Yep, definitely, yeah.
However, call it a treble.
City as well. Get in.
A domestic treble. 4-1 FA Cup winners. That's now 2 out of the 3 FA Cups as well. And we're in season number 7. You've only got 3 years left to win an FA Cup, a Premier League, and a Ballon d'Or winner. That's the challenge that I set to you, and you're coming very close already to completing it thanks to that massive win at Wembley Stadium, picking up your 2nd FA Cup. So that's
My
really
favourite
good.
cup as well, that is.
Absolutely. Now, your goals, 47 from 45, Evan Ferguson.
Gotta win it now, ain't he?
You're putting him in a very good position to do so.
Look how well he's coming on now, look.
But the trouble is, Erling Haaland is obviously having a great time.
I think if I'd won the Champions League as well this season,
There's no doubt.
He'd have been with it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz as well. Look at that. He might even win it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a chance because he's been that good. I mean, the same average rating with that amount of goals and assists from a midfielder is just insane. So, yeah, it's all looking great in terms of statistics. You got £45 million to get better players in with a good wage budget, good healthy wage budget as well. So financially, the balance is coming down. So that's good.
Some of these young players I've got coming through as well now.
Absolutely, you've got a lot of young assets.
Yes.
Whether you decide to sell them or develop them, the team is looking very good.
Yep.
Dad has got to be happy with that. Another Premier League, which means he just needs one more to complete this challenge, as well as another FA Cup. Again, the second of two that he only needs for the challenge. But it's just the Ballon d'Or that is being dominated right now by Erling Haaland that he really needs. Despite Ferguson's unreal season though, Dad still went and signed a new striker in Javier from Real Madrid for £75 million. Benzema also joined the club on a free transfer after his contract ran out at Monaco. And Dad also brought in a defender that can play across the backline from Benfica for £33.5 million. The signature signing of the summer though is Warren Zaire-Emery, and the world's best midfielder joined Spurs for a surprisingly low £95 million from PSG. There was a lot of departures though from this Spurs side this season too, and some that did surprise me. Dad even brought in more money than he spent and had £70 million left in his transfer budget. A change of tactic though for the Tinkerman despite winning the league and cup last season, as he now goes to his 4-3-3 narrow with an attacking midfielder. It's hard to argue against though when you see the results that are coming through, and Dad has battered Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea already at the start of this season. So you'd like to think that this season, season number 8, could potentially provide at least the final league or FA Cup trophy that he needs to complete a challenge. Well, it's the third Premier League trophy and the best one yet.
God, well, look at that.
That's domination.
Where are they all gone? Where's City gone? Where's Arsenal gone?
You were basically in a league of your own there.
Get in.
97 points.
It'd have been more than that. I drew 2 games in the last 5 as well.
Yeah, so only lost 3 games. In those 3 games, you were destroyed as well.
Yeah.
Kind of hilarious, like losing 5-0 and then still going on to dominate the league is quite funny.
Change of tactic, 118 goals. Look, bang,
Yeah,
bang,
well,
bang.
I'm pretty sure everybody would have looked at you changing your tactic then after winning domestic treble and going, what?
Yeah.
What's he doing? The Tinkerman t-shirts will be coming soon, I promise you that.
Dear.
But this time round, the Tinkerman was right in terms of a Premier League trophy, of course. He's managed to tick that challenge off. Evan Ferguson is still getting the amount of goals that he needs as well, with Erling Haaland getting 30.
Getting close to him, isn't he?
And a highest average rating. Let's have a look then at the Ballon d'Or. Well,
he's in the picture now, so
he's third.
He's getting close, but I mean,
but what do you have to do to stop him?
61 goals he hit, mate, in a season.
Yeah.
Christ almighty, anybody who hits that amount of goals.
Your only hope is this is year 8, so you've got 3 more chances to win it, because although year 10 will end, you still have the Ballon d'Or after.
Yeah.
Which I think if you haven't won it by then, are still allowed to get to that point because it does count as a 10th year, is that he'll be 32 at the time and might not be as good. So that's your only hope at the minute, because he's won now 5 in a row and 6 out of the last 7.
Yeah.
And even in the year that he didn't win it, he was 3rd place behind Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe. So Erling Haaland, yet again, lifts the Ballon d'Or.
That's going to be my hardest one, I reckon.
It is. However, it's another Carabao Cup win for Tottenham. 3-0 against Aston Villa. So it's another trophy to add to the cabinet.
Just give me that one.
Yeah, well. Do you really want it?
No. I want the
You'd
FA
take
Cup.
it in real life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's another Champions League.
Get in. Real Madrid.
Penalties against
That's
Real
the team to beat
Madrid.
in the final, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. If you're going to win it, beat Real Madrid. And that's the 3rd Champions League you've now won in the last 5 seasons. A huge result for Tottenham there after a couple of bad seasons in the Champions League. Knockout playoff round exit previously. Lost 1 game to Real Madrid, 5-1 in the group stage. Drawing to Juve.
They were confident they were going to win that one.
Yeah, because they won 8 out of 8 in that lot. And like, they were beating teams 11-0 at some point. So went into the round of 16 and knocked out Aston Villa. So you've played against them a few times this season. 8-3 on aggregate. Quarter-final was knocking out Chelsea, so it was all the English sides on the route, and Bayern Munich in the semi-final when Manchester City was knocked out. So that's what you've got to hope for, is Man City have bad seasons in other competitions, which means they can't just keep giving it to Erling Haaland. What about, though, the FA Cup? It's a win in the FA Cup, which means the 3 out of 3 that you have needed to do, you've managed to do as well.
Back to back.
Twice against Manchester City as well.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. But, yeah, I mean, I thought when we got to, like, season 6, you said I won an FA Cup. I was like, okay, this might be, going into season number 6. You might struggle to do it, but you've done it straight away.
I mean, I've had a better season in City now.
Easily.
They've won nothing because I won the lot.
You have, yeah. You've won a quadruple.
Yeah. So if I've won the lot, and how many goals did he score?
He got 27 goals in that competition in the Premier League alone. Overall, he got 48.
He's got to have won it, mate, hasn't he? He's got to have won it.
Your trouble is that Erling Haaland has probably scored more goals than
he probably
games.
has.
So in terms of
but he hasn't won anything.
No, but in terms of like actually playing, I mean, he had 30 goals in 29 Premier League games. He got 44 in 44.
Yeah.
So Erling Haaland right now has just got the goals ahead of him, carrying a team, whereas Evan Ferguson has got all the trophies this year. So let's just hope that Evan Ferguson winning all the trophies helps him next year win the Ballon d'Or, because else you've got 1 year left after that to win it, and that makes it very tight because I can't do better than that season. You cannot do a better season than that. A quadruple winning season, and a season of complete dominance for Omega Dad with his beloved Spurs. He is on cloud 9 right now, going into the 9th season. After completing the other challenges, it's just a Ballon d'Or that Dad needs to win as Haaland lifts his 5th in a row. Well, Dad went back out there looking for the best talent in the world, and he found a left back from the Netherlands that he paid AZ Alkmaar £96 million for. A surprise signing, however, was Michael Malia, and yes, he looks like a quality goalkeeper at English too, but Dad paid £77 million for him. The final signing in was a 20-year-old Turkish defender from Barcelona that Dad once again spent another £59 million on. However, again, the turnover of players that left the club surprised me a lot, with the first teamers going elsewhere, including Diogo Costa, who went to Barcelona for £70 million. To the surprise of nobody, Dad didn't change the tactic after a quadruple winning season, but the personnel certainly did change, and even the goalkeeper, Lucas Weatherby's development has been insane, which is probably why Costa left the club, as the 21-year-old has turned into a monster after his move from Middlesbrough. Dad's dominance over City at the start of the season was very promising. So could this be the final year after his quadruple season that Tottenham player wins the Ballon d'Or? Because I'm not sure what else Dad needs to do with this Spurs side to make that happen. Now, it's no Premier League win, and Manchester City winning it makes it kind of a little bit awkward for you.
I slipped up just after they're halfway, didn't I, really? Slipped up, went down a couple of things and pulled it back again. So
pulled it back, but only got second place there. 9 losses in total as well. So that's not great. Well. 86 points Man City went on, considering you were 97 the season before. Dropping of 16 points is massive. He got 1 more goal in the Premier League too. Oh, it's so tight up there, which doesn't make it great for you guys. But what about other competitions? Because it could be stopped by winning other stuff. Of course, you've already completed all the challenges I've set. It's just the Ballon d'Or. You did win the Champions League again, beating Manchester City in the final 2-0. You also won the Carabao Cup, so a domestic, a double in terms of trophies. Beating Manchester City there. You knocked out Roma in the semi-final. Quarter-final was knocking out PSG, former winners so far as well. Bayer Leverkusen was a 7-1. It was an easy win all the way through, really. You dominated it, to be fair. So very, very good indeed. Champions League winners and the Carabao Cup 4-3 against Arsenal. Yes. So that was a North London derby win. But Manchester City knocked you out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round. They didn't go on to win it, though. Newcastle beat Palace in the final. So where did Manchester City finish there? They were out early after knocking you out. Beaten by Burnley 2-2 on penalties in the 5th round. So, goals-wise this season, Ferguson got 46. 22 from Mesic, who, to be honest, when you signed him, I didn't think you'd use him. Because at the time, you weren't using wingers.
No.
So, I mean, you're still not using wingers, but he's just managed to get into the team by playing up front.
Wide striker.
But yeah, you've got quite a lot of good strikers up there. He's done very well considering. So, But is he taking too much off of Evan Ferguson? Because if I knew now I needed to just go for a Ballon d'Or, I'd be like, okay, let's plant everything we can into Evan Ferguson. However, we haven't checked who won it this season yet. Has he? After the quadruple season.
Got to have won it.
Has this man won the Ballon d'Or? He has!
Yes!
Ballon d'Or winner.
Get in.
Evan Ferguson. Haaland's not even there.
We didn't win anything.
Rasmus Højlund is, though. Wow. So after 5 straight seasons, Erling Haaland did not pick up a 6th, but Evan Ferguson got his first. Quadruple winner. You can't argue with that.
Nope.
Quadruple winner. So the Irishman picks up a Ballon d'Or. That is all 4 of the challenges that I set for you, you have completed. You still got one final year, so to make it your best year, they've also given you £147 million.
Look at the
very large wage budget too. So
I can go mad.
You can go and have some fun in this summer. So with a season to spare, Dad completes all of the challenges I set out for him, including winning a Ballon d'Or with a Spurs player. So can he top it off with a special final 10th season? Well, at this point, Dad was just simply splashing the cash around as he brought in a young Belgian defender who can play with both feet and cost Dad stupid money from PSG. I question why he decided to buy another world-class right-back, but he brought one in anyway from Inter Milan for 117 million. Rodrigo Mora, who in this 10th season as a real player has just turned 25, joined the club from the other Milan side for again over £100 million. Yes, there were lots of transfers going out, including Martin Cano, the Argentine striker, who left to go to Barcelona for actual profit of 120 million. So let's see one last time what this 4-3-3 can do. Because with all 4 challenges set and already complete, a quadruple again would be pretty special to finish this season off. Final season and another Premier League trophy.
Oh, you beauty.
That makes it 4 out of the 10 years that you were Tottenham manager, and 4 runners-up as well.
Yeah.
Considering how bad you started this, by the way.
Yeah.
You pulled that one back quite well. But the team you have built is absolutely disgusting.
What a squad I've got there now.
Evan Ferguson's even getting more goals than Erling Haaland this time. And of course, he's got other strike partners as well, like Javier, who's up there scoring goals too. But that is not all, because Dad was a whisker away from being a quadruple winner. Runners up in the Champions League.
And it had to be City to stop him from doing it.
Absolutely brilliant. No. So you won that 4 times and come runners up once in the Champions League too.
With the other two
European Cups. So even if the challenge was just to win 3 Champions Leagues, you'd have smashed that one. But it wasn't. You did it nice and early. In the Carabao Cup, you beat Southampton in the final 4-0. And the FA Cup, you beat Aston Villa.
I've done Aston Villa a few times. All the cups.
They're going to be like, that is my bogey team. That has not been great for them. So, a fantastic achievement, Dad. You've done very well. But who won the last Ballon d'Or? I mean, there would have been one more as well. But who won the last one? Evan Ferguson double. Back to back.
Kitty.
I mean, you had a good season again.
That's great. I'm pleased for that.
So, Evan Ferguson won it yet again. Overall,
what a signing that was.
A fantastic season for him.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What a
squad I've got there now, though.
Yeah, very good.
Some of the young lads coming through as well. Oh, absolutely awesome squad.
And you can take this squad over as well on the save game. You can get the save game file on patreon.com/MegaLukeGaming or by joining the channel memberships. I'll drop the link to this on the day that this video releases. I'll drop the save game file so all of you can have a blast playing it. Maybe you want to do another 10 years. Maybe you want to just steal Dad's tactics.
You're going to get another 4 seasons out of Ferguson quite easily.
Absolutely. Maybe you want to spend £151 million and completely rebuild this team and see what you can do in the 10 years with this Spurs side. But thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you have pressed that subscribe button because Dad has already started and nearly finished a Ren save. Yeah, I did not ask him to do that. So that is what will be coming up next. So make sure you got those notification bells turned on. But before that, if you're wondering what to watch, check out this one because Dad did 10 seasons at Birmingham City.